Look at this very cool shell. The most popular videos on my YouTube channel by far are my videos where I add new biomes to my game Gelli Fields, and so today we're finally adding a new one. Welcome to Fairly Friday. Not every single Friday is a Fairly Friday, but this Friday is feeling particularly fairly. So let's get into this. The biome that we're working on today is the beach biome known as Cartifer's Cove. There's a lot of stuff going on right here, but we're gonna walk through my process for designing all of it. And then in a future video, we'll actually put this stuff into the game and work on balance for it. But this first one is mainly focused on the art and the design of the biome. So I decided to make a beach biome because I really love the beach, and also because I love pirates and I wanted to have a piratey themed area, since this game has a lot of different locations that I particularly find really cool. The tiles are pretty typical like sand tiles, but they actually have this alternating darker and different kind of darker color with a little swoop going through the middle. And then we have these really cool basically palm trees, which I struggled to try and get the design for them at first. It wasn't really working out very well, but then I eventually found it and I think it looks really good. And then I didn't record this part, sorry, but there's a few things I added. First of all, there is Cartifer and her crew. Cartifer is the most notorious pirate in all of the world of Gelli Fields, and she has her crew, which consists of Penny, this little birdie, and also Divvy, which is a felly. Penny here is holding a piece of paper, and it's actually the wanted poster for their crew, and they carry it around as kind of like a trophy. The biome is called Cartifer's Cove because this is Cartifer's secret hidden area, but even this hidden area somehow has the corruption spread to it, which is pretty interesting. Some of the other things are these little sand piles that you can break and maybe get some sand or some other things, and they'll just be kind of blocking your farming path. And there's also this sand castle, which when you break it, there'll maybe be some treasure in there or something like that. So this will be one of the more rare things that can spawn on your farm. And there's also Cube Melon, which if you used to watch my Jelly World videos, this was a crop from Jelly World, and I wanted to bring it over here because the joke in Jelly World was that it was a watermelon, which is usually round, but it's shaped like a cube. But it's funny because in this game, everything is a cube, so it makes a lot more sense for it to be here. And there are also these blueberries. They're not actually blueberries, they're more like cherries, and they will hang from this little tree. I want the entire biome to be more focused around fruit, and also kind of topical to talk about this right now, but Cartifer is actually based off of my kitty. She's based off of my little kitty Callie. What Cartifer does, she goes out and she finds treasure and she gives it out to the poor, but she's known as a notorious pirate because she is very mean to those that are rich and wealthy and that hate the poor. So she's actually a very nice pirate lady, which is cool. And there's also this little bit of beach grass. This is actually green, but I might in the future make some beach grass that's more of a like tan dry color to fit in with the biome more, but I wanted some extra color in there, so I thought having a little bit of green would be pretty nice for the biome. But now it's time to add more stuff to the biome, so I jumped over to my notepad and I started coming up with ideas. Came up with this idea where there would be an area that is full of these sand piles, and you would grow your crops, sell your crops, and then you could dig up these sand piles, and sometimes there would be gems that come out of those piles. And I also came up with the concept of this little wanted poster where basically an item, let's say these blue berries are on the wanted poster, and while they're on there and you sell them, you will actually get a bonus, and then it'll switch to a different item. But if you wait too long, the wanted thing will actually go away and switch to another thing as well. So this will be like a cool kind of needed item mechanic for this biome, which I think will be very fun. And I also drew these three pieces of corruption. One is a sand pile with a shovel stuck in it. One is a bit of a broken ship with a flag on it. And then the other one is like a giant sand castle. Okay, now it's time to add all that stuff into the biome. I started with these 3 gems, and they were so difficult to draw. I was having a really hard time drawing them. I had to redraw them a bunch of times, but I eventually got 3 that I think look good. I have this green one, then I have the blue one, and I have the red one, and they all have different shapes. The green one is the most rounded. The blue one has a little bit of a harder edge on the top, and then the red one has a very hard edge on the top. And then I moved over to working on some of the corruption. So I started working on this sand pile with the shovel sticking out of it, which is really easy because I already have a sprite for a shovel. So I just took the sand pile, made it bigger, took the shovel, stuck it in there, and then just added a little more sand to it. Sometimes you can just use art that you've already made to make your job a little bit easier, and it fits more in theme with the world because the people have already seen that shovel before, but now they're seeing it in a new place. And then I started work on the piece of broken ship with the flag on it. This turns out really, really cool. I love the process of drawing things. I especially like when I get to go back later and watch me draw it, especially when I'm doing stuff like right now where I'm kind of speeding up the process. I think it's very, very satisfying to watch, and I can understand why you guys love watching these videos of just the process of things happening. I mean, while I'm in the process doing things, I'm like kind of freaking out, like, is this gonna work? Does it look okay? Is it fine? Or is everybody gonna hate it? But then when you see the final product, it's just so cool. It ends up coming out so awesome. I forgot to mention earlier, but I have these 2 items, which is loot that you get from fishing. We have this bone skeleton fish, and we also have this little wiggly worm. And I also forgot to mention this jelly here. This is called a sumblet. And these are jellies that you can often find around rare and exotic trees, kind of like this tree here, which actually this is called an oregano tree. There's not oregano like we have in the real world in Gelli fields. This is what oregano is to them. It's just a tropical tree. It's like a palm tree, but to them, it's an oregano tree. It's a very rare and exotic tree that you can find on beaches. And so, of course, the sumblet is going to be native to this area because of these rare trees. There's some sort of correlation between the sumblet and the tree, but you guys will have to figure that out yourself or come to your own conclusions. But yeah, this is a pretty cute jelly. It's one of the more basic ones, but I like a lot of the basic jellies. Some of them are crazy and overboard and have super intense designs, but this one is very cute. Okay, so that was everything that I drew for the biome this time. Just kidding! I actually decided to go a little bit further, and I drew this little brambleberry, is what I'm calling it. They're like little berries, but they're also caught up in little brambles. I started off with the sprite, which I had a pretty clear idea for what I wanted the sprite to look like. A lot of the other things that I drew, I was kind of making it up as I was going along. But this one, I actually kind of knew what I wanted to do, which is funny because I didn't actually draw it in the concept art that I was drawing earlier. But these are the brambleberries. They changed color throughout me drawing it. I wanted it to be green, but then the cube melon is also green. And then I thought maybe red, but then the red looked weird with the brown. So I decided to go in between, I guess, and go with pink, which I don't know if I even have any pink crops in the game yet. So that's pretty cool. New pink crop just dropped. And I have the brambleberry actual crop here that'll grow in the game. And this one was pretty straightforward as well. Just kind of putting the berries on the ground and then drawing weird shapes, connecting them. And then I thought this looked a little too basic, so I decided to add some leaves to it. But the leaves I thought were a little too small, so then I tried to make them bigger, but then I'm like, nah, that's too big, so I made them small again, and then did a little bit of variance in the color. You know, you want to add some darks, and you want to add some lights in there, just to spice things up a little bit. And actually, a little bonus content for you guys, this isn't actually finished because all of the crops in Gelli fields actually have these little dirt mounds underneath them. So I'm actually gonna move this guy and then bring this over, and this dude goes the entire length of 16 by 16 tile. So then we plop it on there, and there we go. Now it's an actual crop in the game. Obviously gonna need to do all the different growing stages for this, in the cube melon. A lot of the crops in the game have a variant crop, and there's no variant crops here yet. So I tried to draw one, and this is what it turned into. It's like a weird apple with two sides, which didn't look good. So I decided instead I'm going to make a variant crop for none other than the cube melon, and it turned into this one, which I'm calling the multi-cube melon. I started off drawing it and I thought I was gonna turn it into like a planet. I wanted it to kind of look like Earth, but then the details were looking a little bit weird. I didn't like how it looked. So then I thought it'd be really cool if each of these individual segments of the cube melon were actually a different color. So I went with the colors of America: blue, green, and red, which is definitely what the American flag colors are. And now we have this multicolored, multi-layered cube melon, and I think it looks awesome. Okay, that's all we're gonna do for this biome. There's also another biome that I'm working on that I might make some videos on, but this is the first video in the series for Cartopher's Cove, the beach biome. In the next episode, we'll either be adding more things that we did in the concept into the art, or we will be adding a lot of this stuff into the game. I don't know what we're gonna do, but you'll have to figure out on the next episode of Fairly Friday, or whenever this video comes out. It might not be the next Fairly Friday, it might be the one after. I don't know. It's gonna be some Fairly Friday in the future. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Thank you to all the members. If you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. You get like cool stuff and things. Bye.